So you do some self-narrating as well. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Welcome to the show. This is my show. Thanks for tuning in. Here it comes again.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
How's it going?
What's up, man?
What's going on?
I have Nicholas James Dodd.
Yes, sir.
D-O-D-D.
Actually, there's an Alexander in there, too. If
Is
you
there
can
really?
believe that. I got two middle names.
Whoa.
But I try to keep it down to one.
Bring it on in here.
All right.
So you technically have 4 names?
Yeah. The full thing doesn't even fit completely on my license. It cuts off one letter.
And legal documents?
Yeah. It cuts off at the R in Alexander, so it's Alexander. Sounds more exotic.
Could you just shorten it to Alex, though?
I mean, I guess.
Just cuz?
I do love your theme, man. I do that high note part every time in the car when I listen.
Yeah.
I got that Bon Jovi falsetto once in a while.
Yeah?
Maybe.
Is it comfortable?
No.
Once at a blue moon?
Yeah. When I'm
That's how it
absolutely
used to
alone.
be. I've been able to wrangle it in more so in recent years, but it's still kind of spotty. Sometimes it's very, very crackly, and sometimes it actually sounds pretty good, but I can't call on it all the time.
Yeah, sometimes you just try really hard, and sometimes you don't even care how it sounds. You're just like, I'm having fun with it.
I don't know. I usually do care to the point where
Well, you're a vocalist.
if I don't like the way it sounds, I immediately, even if I'm just by myself in my truck or something, I just stop. I'll just enjoy it and listen to it. I don't have to.
I don't have to. I'll be quiet.
Like bark over it. All right, Nicholas, what is your age and what do you currently do for a living?
I am 28 years old, and currently I deliver wholesale rims.
Rims?
Yeah, to shops.
Like 28s?
Sometimes. No, man. I delivered a 30-inch set of rims to one client in the Buckner side of Dallas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And a kind of questionable area, depending on who you are and what area you're in.
Right.
But it was a set of 30-inch, and it was plated with 24 karat gold.
Wow. Those had to have been a little expensive.
I mean, why? Wholesale, they were $5,000 a piece.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like,
Wow, man. That's a lot of money.
this is why you're not going to be able to move out of this neighborhood, man.
I mean, you're
buying wheels like
You're
this.
essentially, that would be my house at that point.
That's,
I can't justify
you
putting
just got to
that
shake
shit
your
on a
head
vehicle.
sometimes like, all right.
I mean, if you have the money to do it.
Hey, in a way.
I wish that I had that kind of money where I could just think, oh, fuck yeah.
Hey, there's
Just throw some $5,000 rims or one $5,000 rim.
just keeping my job alive, I guess.
Good Lord. Anyway, so you what is it?
It's I deliver wholesale rims to shops. It's
Okay.
just all over DFW, Fort Worth, sometimes outskirt cities, but
Yeah.
it's not an absolutely exciting job. Sometimes there's some cool perks like events we throw.
Yeah.
We have car events. I want to say names, but I'm really trying. Probably shouldn't.
No, that's fine.
I will say one thing. I did meet at one point. I delivered a set of wheels to what's the guy on the Gas Monkey show where he left?
I've never even seen it. Not once.
Aaron. Oh man, his name was Aaron.
Monkey.
Aaron Monkey. That'd be a terrible last name.
Hi, I'm Mr. Monkey.
Oh, I have such an old man laugh already.
Hello, Mr. Monkey. Here are your rims.
Now drive, Monkey, drive.
That almost came out like a little Mitch Hedbergish.
Oh, I haven't listened
Hello,
to him in a
Mr.
long
Monkey.
time.
Here are your rims.
It does sound like
All 24 carats.
that. Also sounds a little Chris D'Elia-ish.
Yeah. He's got that same kind of whatever. I think his has kind of changed over the years, I believe.
Either way,
It was
he's
a little
funny.
bit more exaggerated, I think, in his earlier stand-up.
It was, yeah, it was a little out there.
I can't even think of a line. You know?
He had, what up, I'm Topher.
Yeah.
on Workaholics.
Sup, guys? Do you guys like that?
That's a pretty good impression.
I can't think of anything off of that either.
That was my
I'm
show,
usually
though,
pretty
man.
good with lines, but I just did not commit any of those to memory.
Might be a good thing.
Probably. I need to save space for more important things.
I commit too much of my memory to references.
I do too, but
it's kind of uncool.
I think I need to replace some of my references. You mentioned on your podcast intro that your mom's name is Tanya, though people would say Tanya and she hated it. Do you share that same kind of distaste if people call you Nick instead of Nicholas?
It's interesting you bring that up. I was just talking to Desiree about it not too long ago. Whenever I personally think of anybody named Nick in the legal sense, I just picture frat boy, just...
that's your actual
What's up,
name.
I'm Nick. I like to play football and screw. That's what I think about when I think of a legally named Nick. And I'm like, Nicholas sounds more refined and mature.
Right.
Mature.
I guess I have that tendency with people like Timothy and Nicholas and Michael. I tend to have a habit of shortening.
Michael.
Timothy. Would you like me to call you Timothy? It just sounds very elementary. Timothy. Hello, Timothy. Mr. Timothy Monkey.
Let's call back.
Or it'd be to Monkey. To Monkey.
To Monkey.
Maybe I observe people saying their own name or pay attention to what other people call them before I just assume that it's okay to call Michael Mike. Just depends on the person, I guess.
Yeah. And I don't mean to hurt any Nick's feelings out there. I'm super sorry. It's not about you. It's my mental way of going.
It's not you, it's me.
Exactly.
I was just curious about that. And I've never heard Tanya before.
Yeah, neither have I.
It's been
the
very
only
weird.
person. It is weird. I've always thought it was weird. Even as a kid, I'm like, just say Tanya. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah, everyone's doing it.
You gotta be different.
Your podcast co-host is your fiance Desiree. How long have you two been together? It's been
a
year and
it has
something?
been a year. Yeah, it was a year on January 3rd.
Okay.
I asked her in September, about mid-September, when we went out of town. Asked her at Garden of the Gods. I mentioned it to a lot of people, but you know what? I'm proud of that. Because as I was telling you when I first got in, I was 19 and that proposal was bullshit.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good one.
19-year-old
Neither's the
proposal.
decision of marrying somebody. That wasn't a good one either.
The thought itself might not be the best, you know?
Well, what's cool is that me and my ex-wife have such a dynamic where we're adults and we're both products of divorce. And so when we divorced, we were like, yeah, you know what our parents did to us? Why don't we not do that to our kid?
Yeah.
It took a little bit of time because, there's always that period of adjustment when you go through a divorce. And, but once you get to the end, when you're both adults and you're almost in a friendship status again, it really works out, especially for the kid.
Yeah.
It's really rewarding. Like it's fun hanging out with them. And I like that my kid can see both of her parents together.
Sure.
In that type of sense.
Yeah, that would make a huge difference of, just only having one, or if it was just not cordial, and then you kids can develop just a distaste, I guess, for one side or the other. If, living with mom and mom's always talking shit about dad, and then just
that was
so
how I grew
happens
up.
when dad shows up that he's almost living up to the name that she's given him. I don't know. Because kids are so impressionable, I would imagine
they're sponges.
Yeah,
they're
you
walking
really,
sponges.
really have to pay attention to how you're acting and what stuff you're putting in their brains.
That's kind of what the benefit is to overthinking sometimes.
Yeah.
You think sometimes it's for your win, and you're like, okay, I did good with that situation.
Yeah.
There was no, I lost the thought. That happens to me all the time.
You got to hold on to it.
It got away.
They all have helium baboons, balloons
Mr. Monkey.
tied to them. They'll just fly away at any given second. Since your podcast name is paying homage to your momage, I assume you have many stories about her that you'll probably share.
Oh, of course. Like,
do you have any that you'd be willing to share today that's not going to take away from
not at
take
all.
away from your own?
She'd be proud if I'm using stories to exploit. She'd be like, glad you're smart and glad you're being positive about the things that are reality now. That's how she'd be about it for real. It's hard to think of a story just like straight offhand. I do know that we were.
Yeah, well, we can try to pinpoint like maybe a happy memory or a inspiring.
Oh, you know what?
Something.
I got one. It's absolutely stupid, and that's why it's awesome.
Perfect.
Since around junior year and senior year in high school, sometime around there, I started really taking an interest to filmmaking. But I wouldn't call what I did for YouTube filmmaking.
It's a YouTube filmmaker.
I mean, I don't remember if I mentioned this on the podcast or not, but I think that I may have said my username on YouTube back then was Zebra Circus. Exactly.
A circus full of zebras?
Yeah. In the audience, in the ring, just everywhere. Ran by Mr. Monkey. I'm going to kill that super quick. But yeah, my formula to coming up with that username was I was sitting there with my buddy Alex, and we were just watching YouTube videos together, and he was like, what'd be a good name for this channel to upload this stupid video we just made to? I was like, I don't know. It's tricky. And he was like, well, what do all these successful YouTubers have in common? I'm like, you got me. He said, they all have really random usernames.
True. Yeah.
So he was like, can you think of one? And I really just sat there and thought of literally the most random shit I could. And I was like, Zebra Circus. Nothing to pull from it. Just entered my brain on its own terms.
Yeah.
Like, this is what's happening now.
Run with it.
But looping that into a good memory with Mom, one day I had this idea. The video was called Random Idiocy.
Okay.
It's around a minute long, and my mom is just holding I filmed everything with the webcam on my laptop.
Nice. So quality is great.
Scorsese all the way.
When was this? What year?
Oh man,
do you know?
I was probably like 2008.
Junior. Okay.
At the earliest. I had her start out off by holding it. She didn't know what I was doing yet. Went into her room, handed her the laptop, and I go, hey, I'm going to start recording. Just go with what I'm about to do. She was like, okay. Giving me the mom look.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I had the bathtub filled up in my bathroom, and I'm, jeans, shirt, typical high school dude, casual wear.
Yeah.
And I just got into the bathtub like that, full of water. Because fuck it, I do what I want. Isn't it funny? I didn't have the most friends in high school. I was so weird. I'm still very weird, but in a different way.
We're all weird in our ways.
I dig it.
That's for sure.
And so I'm in there, and I'm just like, you just hear from far away since she has the laptop. Mom! What? Come here, I gotta show you something. And she's like, and just leads the laptop into the bathroom. Keep in mind, folks, this was in 2008, but this is a quote from my mom. She turns the camera around, and I'm in the bathtub, and she's like, what are you doing in the bath? Oh my God, you're retarded. And then my stepmom shouted from the back, you can't say that. And I'm like, yeah, you can't say that on the internet. And she's like, okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry, internet.
All on the video.
Yeah, right.
Because editing wasn't a concept at that age.
Yeah.
And she was like, she turned the laptop back on herself, and she's like, the boy, I did not teach him how to be an idiot. And then camera just turns back around on me, and I just go, I was laughing. I was like, are you sure? The video stops there. Random Idiocy. And you want to know the most fucked up thing about that? Is out of all the videos I really put a lot of work and energy into for people to watch, getting disappointed really hard. Of all my videos, that one has the most by far.
Funny gets it. Funny wins.
The rest of them were supposed to be funny. That one was just that
was natural. It wasn't planned out. You just went with it.
I'm just like, hey, take this.
Yeah. Sometimes
it was just random, though.
That's like going with your gut.
Yeah, I guess so.
The random gut.
That's a better way to look at it.
Random gut go. Maybe the vibe was more natural. Since everything, she obviously didn't know. There was no planned acting or anything, so
she was really good at going with things sometimes. Sometimes she would just question it too much, but a good mother should.
Probably, yeah.
It's probably one of the funniest that comes to mind.
Let's see. I don't have a ton of stuff, but I've got some stuff. Not that I'm wanting to do a 180 on this subject, but being that your mom has passed and being that I haven't personally lost a parent, I'm curious to know how grieving has been for you with losing a parent?
Oh, man. Well, when she passed, it was hard because to paint the best picture, there's like an eerie parallel between how Mom actually passed and the very beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy. Peter Quill, whenever he was in the hospital and his mom was laid up in the hospital bed. That was almost the same scenario. I was at my grandmother's house, home hospice. She was in one of those beds.
Right.
And it was, shaved head. She was really withered, almost to, it's a point of boniness that you couldn't even imagine.
Right.
I mean, cancer is crazy like that. And you don't really get it until you've seen it in front of you.
Yep.
And it was just, luckily I took off work at the right time because I was able to be there in her actual final moments. And again, Peter Quill even saw his mom flatline, and I watched her take her last breaths. It felt good to be there for that, but it does something to you, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, especially when, since she was married to two different men, my biological father having a certain relationship with him, but she was the constant in my upbringing. She was the one that was never,
Yeah. The Rock.
Yeah, exactly. But when I was grieving, it was like a few months past. I was living in a house in Plano with 5 other people.
Nice.
No.
Yeah, especially when you're going through something, man.
Oh, forget roommates. But at the time, it served its purpose.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it was a certain type of environment. Whenever some months passed, I had a friend from high school. He was in town visiting. This was about tail end of 2017. No, it was more springtime-ish in 2018, I think. My friend was visiting from Los Angeles, and he said, hey, I'm going to be in town. I'm like, oh, dude, come over. We'll hang out before you go back. And I've always wanted to go to LA because I've been in love with film most of my life.
Yeah.
I commit stupid amounts of memory to it, which doesn't serve me any other than being a walking IMDb.
It might come in handy one day.
Maybe. But, we hung out, we did our thing, and then I was like, hey, when are you going out, back out to LA? Because he drove in. And he was like, oh, I'm thinking Thursday. And I'm like, hang on. If you wait till Friday, this was on a Wednesday. I was like, if you can wait till Friday, if we drive nonstop to LA, I'll go with you and I'll fly back Sunday. Somehow I was able to pull that off.
Nice.
And so I could go back to work on Monday. We drove
straight.
Wow.
That
That was rough, man.
was that 13 or 14?
From here to Los Angeles, it's about a 23-hour drive.
Oh, geez, what am I thinking of? Wow, that's a lot farther. That's even worse than I was thinking. So,
well, I'm used to driving a lot, so I'm like, that's road I haven't been on. I'm all for it.
Sure.
And it was exciting, especially like, oh man, I'm finally going to LA. This is the most spontaneous shit I've ever done. What's wrong with me? I'm grieving. I'm acting way outside myself.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, it was really liberating to do something like that. And just like, oh, hey, I'm single and I've been divorced for a few, like, I can do what I want.
Yeah.
If I want it bad enough. And I started realizing like my own self-potential. I didn't realize that till later though. I was kind of just a little bit lost. Little did I know.
Yeah.
But then things got a little harder, and just every day was different. A lot of mood swings.
Things set you off, or like?
Oh, just random triggers. Just when it's still that fresh, the littlest things can remind you.
Of course.
But that's just how close we were. But about a month went by since I visited LA. Had the time of my life out there.
Yeah.
About a month passed, and I was like, I asked my best friend at the time, how bad would it be if I just tossed all my shit in a car and moved to Los Angeles? Because it's always a good idea, too. I've learned a lot through my own mistakes. I even told my dad before I left, sometimes a man just has to make his own mistakes if this is one. It was. Because I moved out there. Burned some bridges doing that too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I did it really quick. Luckily, I was good at my job, and whenever I wanted to come back home a month later, they were like, oh, we could really use you back. You want a raise? We'll give it to you. Just please come back.
Nice.
We need you. And I'm like, I'll take it.
I guess.
I took it in when I was still in LA because I was like, things are working out bad here, man. I need to come back home. I got child support to pay. I can't fuck around like this. It was a wake-up call for sure.
Right.
Because they have weird laws out there for, like, squatting, I guess would be the term. Mm-hmm. If you have, like, RVs parked in certain spots, you can just... They can't do anything.
Okay.
So, essentially, I was homeless, just had a nice box.
Okay.
It was one of those really old all-in-ones. And what I didn't know was... There's 2 other people in there with me. And I'm like, I don't like this. This really small space, and there's 3 of us. One of them's a big boy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it gets really hot in here. It smells like balls all the time.
Yeah, that's not very inspiring.
No. And he's like, it's cool. We can just live the nomad lifestyle and just get by with the bare minimum. It's a liberating thing, man. And I was like,
for a minute.
Yeah, doing Postmates for your main income. Nah. It was kind of cool.
That's more of a side gig, right?
Yeah.
Not a main gig?
But I went to Marina Del Rey.
Yeah.
And those people have money, dude.
Yeah.
No, they don't. not for Postmate drivers, they don't. That's how you keep all of it, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
we don't tip the help around here.
There might be some truth to that. But after a month of that, I'm just like, nah, man, I think I'm going to go back home. Why did I do this in the first place?
Yeah.
Like, no, I totally went about this wrong. And that's around the time I'm like, dude, I'm out of my mind because I'm grieving. There's a lot of friends I lost because I dropped everything and just left. That's when I started, like, more self-realizing where I was at.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, I tried way too quick to get over this.
Mm-hmm.
I need to just let it run its course. Which was, even now, she was lost November 10th to 2017. And it's 2020 now in January. It's still hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, again, not as often, not as many little things, but there's still those trigger memories, phrases,
yeah,
physical objects that are just like, I miss her.
Yeah.
Like, even last night, I think I texted Desiree saying as such.
Mm-hmm.
And all she can do is just be supportive, which she's been really good at.
That's good. Mm. It's good to have, maybe not a house with 5 other dudes, but, one other...
It
really
did smell good at that house,
pleasant
though.
Person. Yeah.
There's always incense or some shit like that.
Incense or other herbs?
Other herbs?
Other herb? Do you like to smoke the other herbs?
What up, I'm Topher?
What's up, guys?
Is that the vape draw?
Wasn't he a child molester?
Yes, he was.
And they just ended up hanging out with him.
How does he not have a stand-up bit about doing that role? He needs to.
Maybe it's too close to how he actually sounds. So he's like, no, I don't want people actually thinking I'm a pedophile.
He's definitely not.
We were talking about your mom and the grieving process. I promise I'm not trying to dwell in gloom, but have there been any other losses in your life that have had similar effects or a noticeable effect on you, or is that...
Oh, for sure. That's the unfortunate side of it. I've dealt with 2 other unique types of death, and they certainly dealt me some trauma.
Okay.
And
we don't have to jump into it. I was just curious.
Oh, no worries. I've talked about it to plenty of people, but usually it's just, not on recording, but that's fine.
That's what I mean. You don't have to go into details or anything. I was just curious, overall effect. Since you said you're really close with your mom, I don't know. I've been fortunate enough to not lose a lot of really close people.
Hey, that's
just
good.
Grandparents and a couple of friends, but not like a best friend or a parent so far.
Right.
Or anything in a really horrible way necessarily. So it's just interesting to see how it affects different people.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Also, it might be something that maybe somebody listens to at some point and it's like, I'm not alone.
Yeah, right. Something relatable.
Yeah. Relatability is just, as humans, it has a lot of comfort.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Hopefully with more positive things.
Yeah. Yeah, not just death.
Yeah. Like shortly after I got a divorce, there was my half brother Spencer, and we share the same biological father, and yeah, I was shortly after a divorce. I'm grieving that,
Right.
because it was really fresh.
That was actually a question that I had on here.
Yeah.
Was it if you could compare a divorce to losing someone, like in the grieving process?
Oh,
So-
it's not really comparable, but it is still something you grieve. Mm-hmm. Even if
There's a process.
Even if divorce is wanted on both sides, it's still something you gotta adjust to.
It's life changing.
Yeah. Even if you both want it. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. That's just like shedding skin. You know?
Doggo.
There's dogs here.
Nobody knew that.
Asher is the worst because he barks at everything. And then when he barks, he doesn't stop until he knows for certain that no one is here. But then the other dogs start barking in that time. And then that makes him continue to bark. So it just keeps on going.
No borking.
Little potato.
Sounds like Stella to me. That's Desiree's dog.
Yeah.
She's like, she's yours too. I'm like, is she though? She's really closer to you than she ever could be to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were talking about Spencer. Death.
Yeah. You said half brother.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was already grieving the divorce, but in comparison, it feels more minor whenever I got the news. Mm-hmm. But it was like maybe a couple months after that. And then one day I was coming back from getting food. I was staying at a family friend's place and come back from getting food, Taco Cabana. It's always delicious. Mm-hmm. Still ate that night because I love food. I can't not eat.
Comfort food.
Yeah. But when I pulled back in front of the house, I saw her car out front, and I was like, what is she doing here on a weeknight this late? And it was in North Richland Hills. She lives in the Colony at the time, and I was like, this ain't good. I don't know what this is, but my gut, like, my heart was in my butt, if you ever heard that. And so I got in, started trying to eat, and then Mom told me that that Heather called her, which is my father's wife, would have been my stepmother had he not signed his rights away. But we still have a relationship. It's still a positive one. It's just more unconventional dynamic, but it's still positive. And she told me that Heather called her and that Spencer was dead, and it was because he hung himself.
Oh.
And it took everybody by surprise, typically as it does.
Right.
Because he seemed like one of the happiest person everybody knew. And whenever Mom just laid that news on me, and I can't even remember the initial, almost like my memory kind of blocked it out a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember the memory of her telling me. I don't remember how I actually took it.
That
I
makes
did
sense.
cry. That's about all I can recall. Can't remember my brain. I think I kind of just shut off.
Yeah. I remember when my great-grandma passed away, my mom, we were getting ready to leave. She was leaving for work, and she was going to drop us off at my grandma's house, I think. And I remember her getting a call, and that she was crying, and we called her Nanny. That was our reference to great-grandma, was Nanny. And since she was crying, she wasn't really, I couldn't understand what she was saying that well, and it's first thing in the morning, kind of still half asleep, and she said Nanny, and it sounded like she said Daddy. Your nanny died last night. And I immediately heard your daddy died last night, and I was like, I am processing, like, why was he out? Where is he? How is he? What's going on? So like the whole, of course I was very young at that point too, but remembering just that moment, everything around that is really hard to distinguish. What was happening. Yeah.
Everything
So
else
just like your, those words entered your head. There's so much processing going on. You just can't remember everything else, or it's like a firestorm in your head or something.
Thankfully, on the same Zebra Circus channel, I had a lot of videos that I made with him.
Yeah. That
the families actually. At the time, they're like, this is so stupid. Why are you doing this? Poisoning our son's mind. But now they're really grateful. They're like, we're really glad you did those. Yeah. That feels pretty good. And sometimes I go back and watch them. Mm-hmm. He was redhead, so had a few ginger puns in there.
Okay.
Like, I made a video called The Ginger Genie.
That sounds good.
The audio is so bad. It's, to my standards, embarrassing.
Okay.
To look back on, but in a good way, because we had fun making those, and they make me laugh. I don't know how many other people would. I had like my dad, that Ginger Genie video, my dad had one of those like old big green desk lamps that's like all long and stuff.
Yeah.
This door just opens while I'm taking a shower, but the shower, random as always. I don't understand myself. My past self. Shower's going, but I'm laying in it like a bath. And again, I have all clothes on.
Some obsession with fully
Look at me, I'm a clown.
Baths.
Like, yeah, I'm doing this right.
Yeah.
That kind of confidence. And the door just swings open. I'm like, what the hell? And you just hear this disembodied voice saying, rub my lamp. What? When I say it like this, explaining it, it sounds way weirder.
You just have to go watch the video.
No, don't go watch that video.
Yeah, go watch it. I dare you.
Yeah, I just rubbed the top of that stupid, ridiculous desk lamp. He appears with no shirt but a leather jacket. Grants me like swindler genie wishes.
Okay.
Like I get the bullshit result of a wish.
Right. That's how it usually works, right? With genies.
Yeah.
It's always
just not the awesome Robin
very,
Williams one.
Yeah. That one was.
That genie's a good guy.
Yeah, that was a good genie.
When I was little, I called him Genie Dave for some reason.
Genie Dave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that weird?
It's
That was
a
one of
little
the
weird.
things my mom really loved about me. It was Genie Dave. And I'm like, why do you love that so much? She's like, because it's so ridiculous. We don't know why you did that.
There's got to be. Maybe it's like Gina Davis or something.
I don't think so.
You heard it somewhere on TV.
Probably.
It's stuck in your
Some
head.
kind of subliminal shit.
Yeah.
And then there was another video I did with him. We did the cinnamon challenge. His mom was
yeah?
pissed at me for doing that to it.
Wow.
It was fun, though. He did it first because, of course, I'm the oldest.
Yeah. Here, try this.
Yeah, you're doing this, and we're going to exploit it on YouTube, possibly for money. We'll be famous, bro. It's okay. And, yeah, he did it first. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then I started patting him in his back. I'm in the background while he's dying over the sink, throwing my fists in the air like, yeah, this is great. And so I pat him on the back a few times, and I'm like, you want me to do it to make you feel better? He was like, yeah, you should do it too. And so I did. And I wasn't doing too bad, but I didn't cough so much. I gagged right away. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah?
This sucks, man. Why would anybody do this?
Yeah. That's why I never tried. I thought the same thing. Why would somebody do that? Especially when you see videos of other people doing it. I guess maybe it's like I can do that. I bet I'm going to be the only one that can do that.
Either that, or if you're like me, I'm like, I'll do anything to make people laugh. I'll be the next Steve-O. No, I'm not doing that shit.
That's extreme.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm not that guy.
I'm not going to dedicate my body to...
I think he's done with that sort of thing. Nah, you know what?
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything specific in a while, but I'm pretty sure he still has the
He
wild.
hangs out he does stunts for David Dobrik's vlogs on YouTube.
Okay. I haven't seen any of that, I guess.
No, he's a good kid, but it's one of those things where you're like, this guy is 21 and he is stupid rich from doing this YouTube thing.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I feel bad about myself.
I want to be rich off YouTube.
It's not about money.
YouTube rich. Bitch.
But the thing is about him, I feel mixed about. He films his own acts of kindness to his circle of friends. Like he gets them cars, Teslas or whatever. He got one of his friends a Lamborghini.
Well, that's cute.
I'm like, damn, through the people he was advertising for. I almost said them, but I don't want them to give them the satisfaction. Because I don't like that product very much anyway.
Yeah.
But I feel mixed about it because he's doing really cool things, and he's touring colleges now, giving away money to some of these students.
Nice.
But he's filming it, so I'm like, I get it.
I wonder if because in one way, seeing people do that could bring in more views, which in turn brings more money.
So he can continue. It's the cycle of contributing.
Yeah.
He can keep giving if he keeps filming it.
And he's sharing something positive, so you can't knock him too much. Yeah. But I totally get it. Yeah, it does. To me, it defeats the purpose by filming something like, "Hey, look how nice I am."
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean,
but at the same time, I watch his videos, and he seems like he's actually got a really huge heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet he does.
You can usually see through somebody if it's like a complete act or just all for show or whatever.
That's why those people are more on a temporary status.
Yeah. So maybe he's motivating people to be more sherry.
Sherry.
With their money. I totally, since I usually do a lot of stuff beforehand, I usually do my 1 second question, 1 second answer business, this or that thing. I usually have like 15, but I totally forgot. So I was trying to do some at the last minute, and I don't have very many.
I have no room to talk about memory stuff.
But let's go. Let's do that real quick. Give me your answer as fast as you possibly can when I tell you. But two things. Like dog or cat.
Dog.
You win. Okay. There's only a few. Travel or relaxing at home.
Travel.
Car or truck.
Car.
Candy or chocolate.
Chocolate.
Video games or movies.
Movies.
Guitars or drums.
Guitars.
Fly or drive.
Fly. No. No, oh, damn it.
You forfeit that answer. You said fly. That was your first instinct. You're a flyer. Sit or stand.
Both are shouting at me at the same level.
Stand.
Yes. I just say yes.
Okay. Ocean or pool.
Ocean.
Heads or tails.
Heads.
Heads it is.
Oh, nice.
I have a chocolate for you.
Yay, I win. It's a snowman.
It's pretty good chocolate.
Hi-ho.
All right, that was it. Was that Kermit?
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here.
I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, that's the best I got. It hurts sometimes.
Hey-ho. Oh, I can't do it anymore.
Kermit the Frog here.
It's pretty good.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know about it. Let's see. We've been in kind of Gloomville. Let's try something different here.
I don't want people to cry.
I've been so into podcasting and playing guitar and stuff that I haven't really seen hardly any movies or been to any cool shows much in the past year. Did you happen to come up with any sort of like top 10 of anything
2019
for 2019?
It's hard to think about because I don't go to the movies that often anymore. There was a point where I worked at a theater, and once I left that theater, I'm like, why would I ever go to the movies ever again? It's so expensive when I saw all this for free. So I don't go very often. I do know that the same day I believe that I proposed to Desiree, I'm like, all right, our hotel is in the same parking lot as this theater that's right over here. We got to go see It Chapter 2. I know you're not into horror, but I've been wanting this. I just proposed to you, so this is me. Let me have this,
This
please.
is your actual answer.
Like, I gotta. I love you. Please, let me have this. Because I'm a huge It fan.
Yeah.
I can't read books. I don't know how. I'm just kidding.
I don't know how.
I just can't. I don't have the ability to sit down and commit to reading.
It's tough.
It is. I try.
Especially nowadays. But
Every
it's
now
still
and then
tough.
I spend money on a book because the thing is I like the physical aspect of books. It feels good having books around you. But when you try to actually sit down and read, for me, it's just like, it's like my hands start shaking violently. Like, I can't do this. I have to do something
body
else.
says no.
My body's physically rejecting the act of reading.
Yeah.
So I got really into the movies because the remakes were something I was looking forward to for a long time. I saw Chapter 1 on my own. I saw that 3 times in theaters. I was that into it. And I'm like, this Bill Skarsgård fellow, he is something else.
A little creepy.
I've watched all the behind the scenes stuff on YouTube, wherever I could find it.
Yeah.
Like, for the first one, they kept the kids separate from Bill during shooting until the day finally came.
Oh.
That they had to be in the same scene.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, it is. Because, of course, the director wanted the reaction to be authentic.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense.
The kid who was Richie, he would, like, run up on him and, like, shake his face crazy Pennywise style right in front of him. And he's, like, scared shitless, this kid, right?
That is awesome.
And then whenever they yelled cut, Bill was like, hey, I forget the actor's name, but he was like, hey, Jack or something like that. Jack, it's Bill. Are you okay? Are you good? And he was like, yeah, what you're doing's awesome, man. What you're doing's really great.
That's good.
I'm like, man, that sounds like a rough shoot.
Yeah.
But It Chapter 2 was even better because I'm a big Bill Hader fan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how great is it that he's in this? He's good at dramatic roles, and he, of course, plays a comedian.
Still haven't seen that.
That's unfortunate. It's really good.
I question myself sometimes because I say, no, I haven't seen that yet. And then I realize like a week later, oh, I did see that. Why don't I remember a single thing about it?
Because your memories.
But I'm pretty sure that I have not seen that, especially with Bill Hader. I think I would have remembered that.
Oh, it's worth it. From what I've heard of Bill on the set of that, not in a negative way or a jerk way, but he did sound a little diva-ish on the set.
Oh, yeah?
Which, I get it.
There was an interview that he had with somebody, and he was talking about how he is pretty specific, and it's more of like an anxiety thing, more than...
I get that for sure.
Being so uncomfortable that it just kind of halts production. So kind of need things to be a certain way. Otherwise,
yeah, I get that.
You know, but if you don't understand anxiety and how it can actually be a real thing, you might think, well, just fucking get over it.
I have anxiety.
But if you've,
I have medication
you've experienced
for it,
you know.
Yeah. I think anxiety has a little bit to do with what I've had to deal with.
Yeah.
To be nervous over small things.
Mm-hmm.
Funny like that. He has done some pretty good movies, though, thinking about anxiety and stuff, because he's good at playing like the same type of dramatic role.
Yeah.
I remember he did one with Kristen Wiig, I think, called The Skeleton Twins. That was a downer movie, man.
Did not see that one.
It came out a while ago. And see, I'm sitting here trying to think more about 2019 films I've seen, but it's mostly a blur. Was Endgame last year?
I don't know. I'm so behind on Marvel.
I've
only seen the first Thor.
Oh, no.
The first Thor, first two Iron Mans.
The second one was the worst one.
Yeah, it was okay. I didn't really... I mean, that's why I didn't watch the third one, because I think I started the third one, and I could have kept going. I just didn't really feel like sitting and watching that.
Yeah.
Because I think... Actually, you know what? I think something else happened that made me realize, oh, shit, I didn't see that movie, which is probably... before this movie, and I should probably watch the other movie first. You know, like maybe it was the second Thor or something. I don't know. I don't know the sequence, but I just know that there was some movies that I watched and I thought, how do they get from here to here?
Hey, man.
I missed something somewhere. So
in the MCU, it's just, you have to look up what the order is.
Yeah.
Which we did start doing in chronological order since we got Disney Plus.
Nice. There's so many that I have not seen. I haven't seen the Avengers ones. It's
a list that'll take some time to work through, but me and Desiree have been off on work for a few days, so we were like, let's rip through all of these in order.
That's a lot of hours, isn't it?
Yeah. We've gotten to the point of Captain America Civil War. Okay. So we still got a few left.
Yeah, I think I've only seen the first Captain America, too.
Man, Endgame made me cry, dude.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It was a little emotional.
Because I connect to film in a unique way. It's crazy. Like, I'm starting to want even Guardians of the Galaxy related ink.
Okay.
Because I actually feel like I am Peter Quill, pretty much. That's me. They made this for me. It's all about me. I promise this is all in jest, everybody. I'm not really this self-centered.
Man, I can't think of any movies either. I'd have to see a list, but I'd probably, if there's a list of top 20, I would probably have seen maybe 2. I can almost guarantee. If that.
What about all time for you? Like
favorite movies?
Yeah.
Man, I could probably watch Tombstone all day, every day.
You want to know something sad?
That you hate it.
No.
Because that would be really sad.
It would be. I saw that for the first time, like, 1 or 2 years ago.
Oh man, it's not the same when you see it this late in life. It holds up in a way in its own, but
Kurt Russell's
the acting,
he's great.
Yeah, he does a fantastic job. Yeah, his Wyatt Earp was great.
But of course, that movie
Doc Holliday.
Yeah, that's why that movie stands so strong, is because of Doc Holliday. And I'm like, what happened to Val Kilmer? That's like his only claim to a really good, strong role. Then he
had some goofy roles.
Then he went and ruined Batman that one time.
That was very odd.
Jim Carrey's in it too.
Yeah, all of it. All of that weird era. Changing Batmans.
I go back and watch Batman Forever once in a while because I'm like, it's so bad, but I love this movie.
Yeah, the second and third one, I think. The first 3, I could watch those. It started getting a little ridiculous.
What's the
George Clooney?
The nips. Joel Schumacher, you motherfucker.
Give him nipples. Twist them.
They hurt when I twist them.
A nipple. What's the accent?
I was thinking of the South Park reference, or was it Family Guy? I don't
Oh
remember.
boy, yeah, South Park.
My
and
nipples
Family
hurt
Guy.
when I twist them. Oh yeah, it was South Park because it was Imagination Land.
I stopped watching South Park forever ago. Not on purpose. I just don't have cable.
I'm above
so
South Park.
I don't have time for that garbage. No, I got rid of cable forever ago, and
I stream
I
everything.
didn't like it enough to go searching for it to spend all my time because they have like 1 million episodes, right?
Yeah. I'm on the Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime diet. Well, Disney Plus is added to the family now.
I haven't experienced that yet.
It makes you feel pretty good.
I scroll through enough of Netflix and Amazon.
There's enough
I
there.
spend more time scrolling than I do watching, and I don't need another service. I don't need anything more to make me scroll. Instagram, scroll. Facebook, scroll. Netflix, scroll. What the fuck, man? I'm done with scrolling. Let's stop scrolling.
Logic's been saying for years, the rapper, everybody living their life through a cell phone screen.
Yeah.
And that's not fun.
No.
Son.
Especially when it's scrolling. Scrolling the entire time.
One of his recent singles.
That's our attention span. We have to scroll things.
One of his recent singles, actually I think it's his most recent, called OCD, I'm paraphrasing, but he was talking about how basically if somebody sees him in public, they're more interested in getting a picture with him for the gram than just like having a conversation. And I'm like, dude, I wouldn't care about the phone. I would love to talk to you.
Yeah, if you actually, that's probably not even just him. You know, it's just a habit that everybody has. You don't want to talk to anybody. It's all seriously living through your phone, living through your screen. You're more concentrated on your digital life than your real life. If your phone fell in the lake, some of these people might think their life was over for a day until they get a new phone. But still, if the internet went away, you know how many depressed people would be walking around tomorrow if the internet was just gone?
A lot.
Everybody.
But then a few days will pass.
Exactly. Like 3 days, maybe 2 or 3 days would go by, and then everybody would adjust, and everybody would probably be super happy.
Like whenever
you'd see kids out playing in the sun,
there's a rainbow over the sun.
Yeah.
People playing jump rope or hopscotch.
Yeah. Doing normal kid stuff. I don't have kids, and I'm not around kids very much, so I don't know. But I don't see very many outside anymore.
All the screens, man.
It
Shut up
does-
and take this iPad.
It's gonna make me sad, I grew up playing home run derby in the street,
Oh, I invented games on the street that usually got my friends hurt. Or me.
Yeah.
Well, see, when I wasn't playing Sega, which wasn't that often, because those games you were just like, fuck this game. You know what? I'm fucking going outside.
Yeah. Try to break the controller, and then you couldn't, so then you go outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid fucking game.
Fuck you, Sonic.
Yeah, it's usually, I hit the fucking button. Why is he not spinning when I hit the button? Isn't he supposed to spin when I hit this stupid controller?
You know what?
And that's it. I'm done.
Yeah. So I invented a couple games, like simple shit. Like I had a couple bike ramps. I played hockey. Like I slapped a puck around in the street because I lived on that kind of a street that was secluded enough I could do so.
Yeah.
That's a kick-ass childhood, and you can go and play in the street.
Yeah.
Slapping the hockey puck around. There was one time I tried to come up with this with my buddy there. And I was like, okay, here's what you do. If a car happens to come down the street, as they drive by, try to shoot the puck under the car. And that worked the first time.
The first time.
Yeah. But then there was this one time, this guy with one of those like Ranger trucks that are really short and low to the ground, really tiny truck that a giant would use as a roller skate.
Right.
That guy came rolling by. I put too much torque in it. And it went off the ground and hit that fucker's side of his truck. And he slammed on his brakes. My buddy on the other side of the street, he just split. He just ran.
Traitor.
And I'm just sitting there in shock like, shit. He bitched at my dad, and he was like, I got to give it to him, though. He didn't run away like his friend did. I was in a world of trouble.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he didn't make me pay for anything.
That's good. Did it actually dent the truck? Do you remember?
I think it just marked it. It was a rubber puck. There was another instance where I brought out my bike ramps and set them opposite ends of the street. And my best friend at that time, I was like, hey, how about this? We slap shot this puck at the base of the ramp. It goes flying. Just catch it. We'll do this back and forth. I was creative sometimes.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, that sounds pretty simple.
Yeah, works if you have really good aim.
Oh, I kind of did. Like, whenever he was like, how did you do that? When he saw how many feet in the air it went.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm like, come here, let me show you how to do it. And he's standing like right over here to my left. And I shoot that puck as hard as I can. And I don't question the momentum I still have. And so that slap shot goes across his face too with the stick.
Literal
Bam!
slap shot.
He lets out a blood curdling scream. You know, it's fine.
It's all good.
He's okay. But he kind of got me because whenever we went back inside, he fucked with me. He opened like the guide on the cable and he put on some kids show called Connie the Cow. And I'm like, how hard did I hit you? And he was just quiet. He wanted to make me feel like shit. Later, he just smirked and he was like, I've been fucking with you for a while. I had real guilt until I found it. Then I'm like, you're a fucking asshole.
Hey, dummy!
Forrest Gump. Is that what they were doing? They threw rocks at him?
Hey, dummy!
Just hit him up on the side of the head.
Sometimes I impersonate Lieutenant Dan. When I'm just like, don't call him stupid! Don't you ever call him stupid!
Yeah! The hell off me! What, you stupid or something?
Stupid is as stupid does.
That sounds stupid.
That's a stupid saying.
There's a debate of, was Jenny right to do what she did with Forrest or not?
Man, it's been a while since I've seen that one, but yeah, Jenny was trash. I hate to say it. You know,
Doesn't sound like it. It's that hard.
I mean, at the time when I watched it, I was just really sad. You know, why is she doing this, or what is wrong? You know,
She's a dirty
he's obviously not. You know, he's limited, and why is she so shitty? You know, and then I thought, well, I mean, just because he likes her doesn't mean she has to like him. But at the same time, she was a bitch.
Getting all coked out of your mind, a free bird. How dare you?
Ugh.
Don't
Damn
call
it, Jenny.
Stupid. Jenny.
Yeah, you don't know what he's been through. You can't call him stupid. He fought for our country.
As Robert Downey Jr. once said, when the National Ping Pong Championship, that ain't retarded. Tropic Thunder is one of my favorite movies.
When did that come out?
Oh man, I actually saw that movie with my biological father. He was like, I can't believe I paid money for you guys to all see this. And I'm like, you didn't like that? It was great.
Does he not like funny?
It's kind of what I ask sometimes. Come on, man, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a movie about making a movie.
Right.
Movieception.
Inception. Man, I haven't seen that one in a long time either.
I still don't understand
I think
that movie.
I've only seen it once.
Christopher Nolan has a way about that. You don't know. Donnie Darko,
I like
you
his
still don't really know.
mysterious factors.
Yeah, Donnie Darko, do you even know?
Yeah, he's a fucking rabbit or something. Lives in another dimension.
Oh, you're speaking blasphemy, man. Yeah, the rabbit's him, isn't it? There's so many theories.
He's like a rabbit, and
He pulled himself out of a
I
hat.
forgot. I would have to see it again. I don't understand all of it, but I really do. I did like it. I think I used to have the director's cut. I don't know what was different on that. I don't think I have it anymore, but
I wouldn't know.
I forgot what it was that was different.
You forget Seth Rogen's in that movie too.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's all shaved and young. Like, what are you doing here?
Where was that? Was he in school?
Yeah, he was one of the students.
Mm.
He was an asshole.
Damn it. Gee, I forgot about that.
See, I give my memory to stupid
Shut
things.
up!
That's what you can remember.
Yeah, that's one that sticks out.
Shut up! Shut up!
That dude's
Almost sounds like she's saying,
God
"Jack
damn
off."
it, he was such a fucking dick.
Yeah, he was.
Go back to China, bitch.
He said that?
Like,
he did
yeah.
say that.
That stuck out. I forgot who I was watching that with, but I turned around like, what the fuck was that?
That's not cool at all.
Wow. Yeah, that was serious.
Unacceptable.
But kids are fucking ruthless.
Bitch.
Pieces of shits. Man, all the shit that I have on here is depressing. This is depressing. I had on here too, if I'm remembering right, didn't you tell me before that you've like changed your styles quite a bit over the years?
Like, how do you mean?
Just like dressing, like your hair or just like
yeah.
your appearance?
Yeah, I've changed it up quite a bit.
That's what I thought. I remembered you saying that before.
Maybe that's...
Is there a reason why? Is
just
it like shedding skin or like...
Maybe. I'm starting to think maybe. A lot of that was before, like I would dye my hair different colors, try different lengths. I got it super long last year for my standards.
Yeah.
To where I had like an awkward pony. But I had it.
A ducktail?
Kind of. No, it was a little longer than that. Like I could feel it on the back of my neck, the end of it. So I'm like,
pigtail.
This is some long ass hair.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like this, but then I kind of didn't because I'm like, I'm not used to this at all. This is a lot of upkeep. I'm in the awkward stage of the growth now too. And I'm like, oh, I don't like it.
It's like a year and a half of awkward. I hate it. I've done it like 4 or 5 times now.
And I've also noticed I had the desire to do that before I got medicated. Before I got these non-narcotic things for PTSD, anxiety, and depression. And once I got prescribed those, prescribed?
Prescription.
As per me.
One prescription per. So that's changed. How long has that been?
That's been a good few months. I want to say at least a year.
Okay.
I of course asked for non-narcotics because I'm like,
yeah,
don't do that to me.
Fuck that.
Please
dude.
don't do that to me. If the marijuana prohibition was over, I would go that route, but I can't because Texas.
Yep, we're apparently a bunch of damn dummies down here. Don't know shit about no weed.
Because I know it helps with PTSD for sure.
Helps all sorts of stuff.
Oh man, like epilepsy. I've heard a lot of good things about that.
Yeah.
Treating epilepsy.
Yeah.
A lot of the CBD route more so, but
right.
Some people that have like Parkinson's or some type of bodily movement that they have less control over.
Yeah.
I've seen on some documentaries somebody smoked like a really big J, and it was like a whole nother person. Like he was still and can function
Right. And he
normal.
was normally just like shaking uncontrollably, right?
I'm like, this plant is amazing. Why is it illegal?
There's so
other
many
than lumber
things to
companies?
it. Yeah, if it's not outright smoking it, there's other ways to prepare or ingest or whatever to get the same, the effect that you need for whatever your body's going through. I don't know. I don't understand why people just don't.
Not to mention it helps cancer
pay
patients.
attention. There's so much information out there now. How would you not know that we're not still in like whenever it was that they poisoned everyone's mind saying it was
Reefer Madness?
Yeah.
That propaganda film?
Yeah. It's very unfortunate. I don't know why people still think that there's such a negative aspect to it. Unless it's just all political and financial, which is probably is. Because, if they do decriminalize everything, what about people that have been in jail for the past 10 years?
I know Andrew Yang, if you listen to his Joe Rogan episode.
Yeah. It's just that one that he did, right?
Yeah. He was only on there one time.
Yeah.
And I just remember Andrew Yang saying, I plan on, if I make it into office. He sounded really confident too. Like, when I make it into office. And I'm like, well, I guess I admire that. But he's easy to make fun of on SNL. And for some reason they make Tulsi Gabbard look like a villain, which I think she even talked about a little bit in her episode of Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
But Andrew Yang was like, yeah, I plan on ending the prohibition federally with an executive order that'll probably take care of that. And then he was like, I'll do a mass pardon and I'll high five everybody on their way out. He said that. And I'm like,
because it's that easy.
I'm like, you're going to get those millennial votes saying shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, what are there's so many other factors to take into consideration there.
Oh, I know. It's not.
With releasing people because.
Nonviolent. He did say nonviolent.
Of course. Yes. Nonviolent. And I guess it's also different if it's, being caught with a massive amount with intent to distribute or something. I guess that could be different too. But if you got pulled over and you had just, a large-ish stash for yourself, then that's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Fucking dumb. What a waste of time. What a waste of resources.
I think the good thing about the election is, again, I don't follow politics. I don't know shit about them, to be honest, to have an actual opinion that matters.
Well, yeah, it could matter, but that you can stand behind, I guess, with 100% conviction.
But I believe that with the people I have heard from, a fair amount of the candidates have an interest in ending the prohibition. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Probably because they see how much good it's doing.
Yeah, it's
a lot of tax incentives,
right? And there's money in there too. if you know what you're doing or do it right, I imagine, which I don't know what right is.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a way. There's smarter people out there than I.
Kind of have a calling to that industry. Like I want a pot. My dream is to open a dispensary. Yeah. To open a dispensary, both rec and medicinal. And on top of that, have like a hideaway studio in the dispensary or adjacent to.
Yeah.
That I would just record podcasts.
Nice.
And if somebody cool is in my dispensary, I'd be like, oh, you want to talk?
Yeah, let's go back here and talk for 20 minutes. We're just talking.
I promise.
Man, it's dark in here. Where are we going?
Shh.
It's okay. Just sit down. It's okay.
You just whispered directly in my ears. Was that the headphones or was that you?
You'll never know. Do you have PTSD from divorce?
No, I don't. I didn't mean to chuckle like that, but I don't. I feel like with what I've experienced death-wise, it trumps it really hard.
Of course, yeah. Would it be considered kind of like a PTSD if you've been through a traumatic divorce?
Well, I think I'm a little bit biased when it comes to that. Before the death started coming a lot, I'd say some level of PTSD, probably very minor, but. Then there was Spencer. Shortly after that, I went to go live with okay, so there was a point where I had somewhat of a mental break with a lot that was going on shortly after Spencer passed, where I have been to the point of being suicidal, and I was just off my fucking rocker. And I was driving down the highway, and I was on the phone with my mom, like, I don't like where my head is. I want to live, but I'm not having thoughts of living right now. And I pulled over on 121 on the shoulder, parallel to DFW Airport. That's a busy stretch of highway, man.
Yeah.
And so that was scary. And so by the time I got back to the house I was staying at, cops were waiting for me, and they're like, it was a wake-up call for sure. No charges were pressed or anything, but they just wanted to help.
Yeah.
Luckily, they were very good officers that were there. And so they took me involuntarily to a place to get checked out for my head. I wasn't on suicide watch. I was still with it and coherent, being cooperative. So they treated me just like a guest almost.
Okay.
And, met my friend Eric in the hospital I started staying in for about like a week stint, get sorted with medication or whatever. Those were not the right meds, by the way.
Okay.
Whew. Some of those meds they give you, they make you worse.
I believe it. Yeah.
But I met a good friend there. Also, I don't condone this, but I met a chick in there too, and I thought it might be a good idea to date her once we're out of there.
Yeah.
Don't ever do some dumb shit like that. Anybody listening, if you meet a chick in a behavioral hospital, don't date her. It won't be good for either of you.
Most likely.
Yeah, most likely. But I met Eric in there, and whenever we got out of there, I hung out with him because I kind of wanted to keep an eye on him too. He was a character. He was a good kid, but was roommates with him for a little bit because the family friends I was staying with didn't want me staying with them anymore because I was unwell and getting worse, and they have children in that home. And I'm like, they were polite about it. They weren't rude. And I was like, I get it. I'm trying to figure this out myself.
I get it. You fucking hate me.
That's a little on the nose.
Oh no.
But as I was rooming with him, he was in hard drugs, and he started getting into like dark web shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whatever. Just
serious.
For purchasing. Yeah, and I'm like, man. And of course, one day, the totally sane, normal girlfriend I was with went downstairs first, and she called my name, but she called my name in a really weird way. One that she had never had before, and I'm like, that sounds off. So I go downstairs, and I think he got a hold of heroin, and I believe he did die from the heroin overdose. But he was gone when we found him down there.
Ooh. And
his lips were blue, and so she was like, holding her hands over her face, like, what? I went to go check on him, and when I touched him, he was cold. And when I lifted his eye to check it, I'm like, that's a PTSD thing. That's how I got that diagnosis. Eesh. And it's a common misconception that people think it's exclusive to people that served or in the military. I'm like, no,
no, man.
it's from heavy traumatic experiences
Yeah.
that you earned that diagnosis. And I called the paramedics. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's gone. And they're like, can you try and move him? They asked me to move him, man.
You say,
I don't want to
man.
handle this.
I'm not touching this person.
I tried to say that, but they're like, can you please try for us? And I was like, And so I tried to move his shoulder, and okay, I'm going to... It kind of popped, and I'm like...
Oh my god. Yeah, see, that's fucked up, because you're putting someone in a position to give them PTSD or worsen it.
And I had to be the one to call his mother, too.
Oh my god, man.
And I used to be afraid of talking of all these different traumas that I've had, only because I've experienced so much outrageous shit in that department. I'm afraid people won't believe me. They're like, all of this happened to you? There's no fucking way. And I'm like, at least in my own head, it seems like quite a bit for one person.
I think so.
Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what's what.
Yeah.
And so I have driven out a lot of old friends for my negativity and what I've had to deal with. They just couldn't hang. And to a degree, I kind of get it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't have to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not a negative thing. It's not meant with negative intent. It's just, and I even hate to say it that way, but it's like trimming fat. It's,
Yeah.
I'm not using this. I don't need this right now.
Yeah.
And-
We can both be adults.
but exactly. But at the same time, if you need help, or you see that someone needs the help, and you know that you can be helpful, and you turn your back, that's a different story.
In their defense, they helped for a really long time, and then they just got tired of it. It was weighing on them, and I'm like, that's why I'm like, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
I kind of get it. Yeah, for a long time, even still a little bit. I'm afraid to mention all of those things because I really don't think people will find it credible. Yeah, people just don't like going in that place in their minds, especially when they don't understand something.
Yeah. And that's the only reason why I like talking about that stuff, is because I don't have a lot of experience with that. So it's really interesting to hear someone else's.
That's the beauty of long form
experiences.
conversation, as Joe Rogan would put it, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to really figure out somebody.
Yeah. Not just I experienced this, but let me tell you about it.
And if you can gain a new perspective, then it's like, it helps you grow, even when you thought you probably couldn't grow anymore.
Yeah, definitely. That's the best part for me, as far as listening to a bunch of podcasts. That's what started me on this whole thing, is just really understanding that can't take everybody for face value. Everybody has so many more things that can relate to you, or to experiences that you've had, relationships you've had. And I don't know, it depends on how you were raised and what kind of environment you had growing up. There might be so many different things that you didn't experience because you're either lucky or unlucky that you did or did not experience these things. And when that experience does come later in life, you're not prepared for it. You had no idea that this was even possible. I can't even think of an example. I guess just like with death. If you haven't experienced death most of your life, and then you lose a parent at like 35 or something, I mean, that could really fuck somebody up, if they're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that goes with a lot of different things. It could be balancing a checkbook. Working on a budget, There's so many things that are, it could really put you can go bankrupt. I mean, but that's serious though.
With a giant smile.
You can go bankrupt. You could lose your house. You could be stuck in a box
with a fox.
With a fox or 4 other people, fox-like people, and
the smell of balls.
That just makes me wonder about people that are homeless. If it's not always drugs, there's just really some misfortunate shit that happens to people.
Yeah,
and that's also hard to believe too in some situations. When I see somebody, are you really homeless, or are you really looking for money, or is this your day job, or what? Because I've seen people do the fake shit. I've heard about it, and I don't want to be careless or assume that everybody is full of shit. Man, you can obviously see some people like, yes, this person lives on the street every day.
Yeah,
and it is very sad, but at the same time, what are they going to do? What are they going to do with this money? If I give them $10, what's going to happen? Are they going to invest that $10 into killing themselves sooner with something else,
Yeah.
drug or whatever, or are they actually going to buy some food, or are they actually going to invest that into getting better? And that's what's hard. You know, if I want to help contribute, I want to make sure someone is applying it correctly.
Yeah.
Or, you know, have a hand in let's
Squandering
get you better.
generosity.
I'd rather have, if I see somebody that has a sign that they want food or money for food or something with food, I immediately look around in my vehicle to see if I have food. You know, I'm going to offer
Or an object
food.
or something tangible that's not currency.
Something that can be used.
I'd rather
for
give the
something
shirt off
good.
my back if it's raining outside.
Yeah, definitely. I've thought about that, giving a jacket or something.
Yeah,
Before.
Like Louis C.K., we think about it, but we don't do it.
Yeah, if I look in the back seat and all I have is my company
I can't.
company jacket.
I need that.
Yeah, that's all I have.
I need that.
But you know,
They'll yell at me if I give.
Hey,
it to
somebody out there could say, "Well, they don't even have that." Oh, yeah, you're right.
them. You're right. I came so close once, but I still didn't do it.
But the light turned green and you had to go.
Exactly. There was a light. I couldn't just sit there.
I've given people money before.
have
It's
too.
either if I'm in a good financial position.
When you're up, you're up.
If I have, yeah. I mean, yeah, if I'm in a good position, I don't mind sharing the wealth, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but I know that's the other thing is I know that it doesn't last very long.
Yeah.
So I can't just throw it all out there. Drinks on me.
You
Like
want
this-
to? Wait. Well,
I mean, yeah, because I have done shit like that. My first time that I went into debt, credit card debt, notice, first time was all my fault, but I'll give that up to my environment and my parents. My parents have been bankrupt before, so they've since changed their ways and are, I believe, in a much better place financially. But
that's good.
I had a habit of buying really extravagant Christmas gifts for people, and you know, like birthday presents or whatever, just
Then
for
after-
family. You
then
know,
after
like
you're like, oh fuck.
yeah. All the bills just stacked up. You know, it's not that I wasn't paying anything. I wasn't putting enough into it. It's always minimum payment or a little bit over the minimum, and not realizing one of the biggest things was the like 18 months 0% financing, and then I still didn't pay it off in 18 months, and then you're going to charge me all of the interest that accrued in that 18 months when I had $150 left to pay. And it like bumps up another 300 something. Like, what the fuck? You know, it's stuff like that just, you know, the better percentage rate expired and then it went to a higher one or whatever, just not paying attention to what I'm doing, you know, inexperienced. This was all early 20s.
My poor credit. Words, man. They're funny.
Corporate.
Corporal Reddit.
Red corporate. Corporal.
Corporal Reddit.
Your poor credit.
Yes, that's attributed. Thank you. That's attributed to student loans.
That's very different than buying a surround sound for someone.
Well, you know, it's just another dumb decision when you're 18 and want to be smarter.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do that, because I don't like school, or I didn't like school, didn't want to waste time or money, had a job already, good to go. Yeah, now I don't regret not going whatsoever.
Yeah.
No regrets, none. But I'm more interested in learning now, and I wouldn't mind putting more time towards it, which is kind of what this is for
Hey,
me in a way.
There's plenty of free podcasts out there for learning.
Yep. Free YouTube channels and all sorts of stuff.
Bunch of DIY
But-
how-to.
But that's the thing is, I don't know what kind of curriculums are out there in, you know, your standard schooling facilities. So I would kind of want to go at my own pace and, you know, learn the things I want to learn and verify resources and really put the effort out there to learn what I want to know.
There's
basically.
definitely a few apps out there in existence already that have classes for really reasonable cost.
Yeah, so yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that, you know, if it was very specific or...
They do get really specific.
Because teachers are just people, and I can be careless. So I know that they can be careless too.
Yeah.
At times.
Because humans.
Exactly. You know, I don't want to depend on someone else to be 100% all the time. You know, I used to. That's how, you know, being like growing up, that's how all adults were that way, you know? Like, wow, somebody messed up. That's weird. You're an adult. You're not supposed to mess up.
And then
you know?
you learn.
Yeah, then you learn everybody's the fucking same. We can all screw shit up and stop caring at any moment. So it really changes things when you make that realization. But yeah, I'd like to be in control, more control of my learning and what I focus on, I guess.
I went over at that Billy Bob School of Learning over there.
Yeah, BillyBob.com, BillyBobSchool.com.
Speaking of Billy Bob, is that a good venue? I've never been there.
Billy Bob's?
Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton's place?
That's always what I think of when I see that.
I think I've been there once. That was it. And I don't remember much about it.
I do think whenever I read it anywhere online, I think of Billy Bob Thornton immediately.
Billy Bob's.
That's a good actor right there.
Hey, yeah, he was in Tombstone too.
I don't remember him in Tombstone.
He was the chunky...
That's odd to think about.
Yes, that's why people don't remember him, is because he was a little overweight. And he was at the table playing cards. And that's the guy that Kurt Russell slapped around. The one that was, you know, nobody wanted to come in because he was a dickhead.
One of my favorite lines from Tombstone is when that dude was just wasted, going into the street. He's like, I feel capital. I'm like, I love this guy. Yas, queen. That's what he would be saying in today's terms.
Man, yeah, that was just good acting. There was some corny stuff in there, but
couldn't avoid it in that
really,
decade.
Yeah, but really, really good acting overall. So many good scenes.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Yeah.
I said that to somebody the other day, and it was so perfect and fitting, and I was so proud. I wish I could remember what it was.
Man, that's what is it actually? I think it's I'm Your Huckleberry.
Yeah.
Because
I'll be your Huckleberry. No, that's the one. I've only seen it one time, but I'm pretty sure I know that line very well.
Well, that's the thing, is I've seen it so many times that I think that everybody says it. Everybody. 9 out of 10 people say it wrong. And every time that I question myself, I have to go look it up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm right.
I get that
all
way
of these people are wrong.
I get that way all the time.
But I'm not going to jump in and say, that's wrong. It just makes me think, I don't think that's right. And I go do my own research, and then yep, I'm right. And then carry on with my day.
You know what? Wrong.
Whoa! I had to jump in to say, I was right.
I didn't think you had it in you. I'm your Huckleberry. I'm your Huckleberry.
Whoa!
It sucks being human sometimes because it feels good telling someone they're wrong.
You're wrong. Close Facebook. Come back later to all the comments and, oh, whoa, you feel better about correcting me.
Shortly after I got back from Shortly when I got back from Los Angeles, I stepped further away from social media, and I had this epiphany. I kind of feel better.
Oh, yeah.
Life seems a whole lot better. It's like putting glasses on whenever vision's been foggy for so long.
Yeah. You don't realize it until you get rid of it, or just, I don't know. It's all music and art related and shit for me, you know, otherwise I wouldn't really care that much. I don't depend on that, you know, other than telling people happy birthday, because I don't write it on the calendar anymore like I used to.
I was going through some of my memories, and on YouTube I was going through my favorites playlist, which is like almost 2,000 videos from when I first got YouTube.
Yeah. Holy moly.
And like from some years ago, I saw that I favorited an And Hell Followed With video.
Oh yeah.
Before, you know, any of that happened, and I said to Desiree, I'm like, I favorited this shit years ago before I even knew patty cakes would go that far. That's how rad is that?
Yeah, that was cool. I had the album. Like, I don't even know where I heard of it, but I know that I got that album when I wasn't really that into the music.
The last album they put out.
The Proprioception.
Yeah.
So I remember listening to the album and I thought, I don't know. And I didn't listen to it for the longest time. And then started getting more into the heavier stuff, and then revisited it, and I thought, okay, this is pretty good. And still, you know, years ago. And then Andrew says, hey, I got a chance to do vocals for this band or this band. You know, I think he was asking me, you know, what do you think? You know, because he would send me like a couple of
You're his mentor
covers.
For sure. Anyone would say so.
No, man, he just bounces stuff off of me. I don't think he listens to me.
That's a creative kid, man.
Andrew, you don't listen to me, do you?
We ran. You know how I met him, right?
I don't think so.
I met him in high school.
Okay.
We ran track together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was a track runner.
Yeah. That was when his band...
That's why he still has good calves. You got good calves, man. You know you do.
We have to talk about you a little bit. I might be for him. Enjoy my voice, patty cakes.
This is for you.
But I think his band at the time was Obelisk, something like that. He had long hair back then, and I'm like, oh, geez. Whenever I was running track with him, he had kind of like the curly clusterfuck going on.
Yeah.
But now he's like...
Curly-headed fuck.
Now he... You're a big fat curly-headed fuck. And I tell Desiree every once in a while, like, I'm really proud of how far Andrew's come.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick to see somebody progress that direction.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm proud to know that, dude.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough about Andrew. He's already been on this podcast. We're through with that.
Twice.
Actually, I think it's 3 times. And
you haven't put the other one out?
One wasn't released. It was like preliminary, just testing and stuff.
It's the beauty of backlogs.
Yeah. Maybe I need to revisit that. Maybe I can pull some information out of there. I think we might have been inebriated. Is there anything else that you or anything that you have that you wanted to chit chat about specifically? Because most of the stuff that I have is, we kind of hit a couple of these things naturally, which I like to do. I'm not very good on the fly.
18 released episodes so far, I think.
Yes.
I think the Bryce Gentleman.
Yeah, I think Bryce was 18.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he's a silly dude.
I like him.
He was here for New Year's.
He was
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve is always fun. I saw that picture you
very
posted.
rambunctious. So we're playing Cards Against Humanity.
It's always...
And he's got these voices. I think when he gets to a certain point, he just like... He's just constantly doing that.
I get that way once in a while. Hopefully one day I'll be lucky enough to get it on recording.
I think I wanted to say, Bryce, calm down for a second. But I couldn't because I was laughing.
like I like how you and Steven Mashburn, that's my favorite episode. It's you and Steven Mashburn.
Yeah.
That was great because the Dolores.
Oh my God.
Gwendolyn.
I've been watching Parks and Rec. I don't even know what I'm on, season 4 or 5 or something. And they actually had an episode of them talking to senior citizens about spreading STDs. And it made me think about talking about that with Steven.
It's a real ass problem.
Yeah.
Man, all they do is fuck in those retirement homes, man. It's true.
Yeah, one of the ladies was, it's a show, but she was like, sometimes I have sex with 2 people at the same time. Or she was like, I have 2 boyfriends at the same time or something like that.
Are you sure it's not your medication?
Yeah. It's actually 2 people.
You need to be careful. I have I use that voice a lot actually because I like to make fun of one of my own family members. She seems a lot older than she actually is. She spent a lot of time smoking in her life, but she was setting the table for breakfast. My cousin Lauren was over, and she's British, and that's weird in itself because my dad, who ended up adopting me after my rights were signed over, he's like gun-toting, like total Texan America.
Yeah.
But in an awesome way. He's actually has intelligence in his head too.
Right.
And
not just the American flag.
Yeah, with 0 accent. And I'm like, this is so odd. Your legit mother is so British.
Yeah.
She does the tea shit and all that. And she's that type of old that if it's within your own family especially, they kind of make you uncomfortable. Not to judge or discriminate or anything negative about it, but sometimes that happens. And I used to make my friend laugh because I would exaggerate, like shaking really violently and getting really close to his face while doing so, and just go, "Do you like waffles?"
The uncomfortable closeness.
Yeah, she did that to my cousin, and my cousin looked at me, and I was like covering my smile, and he started cracking up. And then that was when I was just a kid too, and I took that with me into my adulthood. Like, no, that's funny.
Yeah.
Do you like waffles?
Yeah, I think there was somebody. Jesus, I can't even remember. But there was an older guy that would be around sometimes, and he just, when he would lean towards you to tell you a story, I don't know if it was gravity or what, but the lean just kept leaning more and more until either you step away or his head's about to touch your head. It's like, okay, dude.
Just in case you couldn't hear me,
I
I'm
got
going to
you, man.
continuously lean.
I got you, dude. I got you. I can hear. I can actually stand way over there and I can hear you. I don't need you in my face.
What are you talking about?
I ain't that close, am I? Back up, Bubba. So do you like to do impressions and stuff too, I guess?
I try. I really do, because that's something I enjoy. I wish I could go into voice acting, but that's one of those things. I don't know how to get my foot in the door.
Yeah, I don't either, and I haven't dedicated enough time. Like, I really have not done research. Otherwise, I might have thrown some stuff out by now. I just need to do it.
Maybe that's how
I know some people that I'm sure know other people, that might have a suggestion. I'm not looking for a handout. It's just, I would suggest doing this and this and this, and then you might have something open up for you. So, if anybody out there knows what I'm talking about, reach out and tell me. Like, slap me in the face, tell me what to do.
Same.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Give me and Rusty a show that we star in together.
I want to be on the voice show.
Box.
I was doing the...
I'm Mr. Macy.
I always like to try to do Optimus Prime. That's usually how I talk, like when I'm by myself sometimes, to the dogs. Like, come home, get out of my way. Get off my planet.
Get off my plane.
Get off my plane. He's so gurgly on that, I think. From what I remember in my head.
I haven't thought about it.
I'm sure I've exaggerated the shit out of it.
Well, that's
if you don't know what we're talking
funnier.
about, that's Air Force One, Harrison Ford. Get off my plane. Before he throws him off. Yeah, it had to have been what it sounded like. My memory can't be that wrong.
Gary Oldman.
Although I have just exaggerated the shit out of it over the years.
It's more fun when you exaggerate things.
Of course. Gary Oldman.
He was Russian in that. That was odd.
Yeah, that's
he played
right.
a good one, too.
Yeah.
Just
He's a good actor.
Followed by the gurgly, get off my plane, snap that fucker's neck. Spoilers. Too soon?
Oh!
That movie's only...
How long has that one been out?
It has to be like 99 or something.
I don't remember anything else about that movie.
That was the most memorable part. Like, oh, you guys had guns on a plane. That was cool.
Yeah.
A few people died.
Yeah, his family was there too, right?
I prefer Con Air.
Con Air. Oh, man, that's been a while.
Why did you leave the bunny in the box?
God, so goofy. Nick Cage, you were a goofball. Not the bunny in the box. There's like bouncing his lips. Weird. Who was Danny Trejo?
He was Johnny
on the spot.
Johnny 13 or something like that. Some number.
I forgot. What was it? How many people he killed or something?
All these roses were each of my bitches or some Danny Trejo shit.
Eat my bitches.
That's some Danny Trejo shit all the way. I never saw the Machete movies, but I've heard a lot about him.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I kind of don't want to dedicate the time to watch it.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez.
Nothing has pulled me in for that.
Robert Rodriguez started slowly kind of losing his mind over time.
Yeah.
Until he started making cauliflower pizzas on that chef show on Netflix.
No, I didn't care about the storyline enough to give that a shot.
Let me just throw this cauliflower pizza into my brick oven that I'm sure all of you have in your kitchens.
You do it just like this. Wait, you don't have one of those? My.
Right.
I had pizza last night. It was good.
What kind of pizza?
DiGiorno.
They're on sale in
Not
Kroger.
delivery.
At least in my Kroger, they're like $2.99.
Holy shit.
Right?
I gotta go.
They got too many. You want to go all the way to Little Elm to get your DiGiorno?
No, that's not worth it.
That's what I thought.
I'll get delivery.
You just lost out on sponsorship, buddy.
Do you know DiGiorno could be delivery now because there are delivery services?
It's not delivery. Oh, but wait.
But actually it is. Idiot.
Thank you, Favor. Not a sponsor.
Man, I don't have anything else. Unless you want to talk about death more.
That's up to you. I feel like I think about death often anyway.
Yeah. So you've mentioned quite a bit already. Has it been like in a few years span of all this shit happening? Or Because it sounds like it's fairly close.
The cluster, all of that happened in the span of what I want to say 3 years.
Wow, man, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's like one thing would happen, and before I would have a chance to actually process it and get through it and past it, something else would happen.
Yeah.
And so that's like, it made things a challenge, man.
Yeah, I bet.
But now that I've been chilled out and with the aid of what I need to be taking for myself and the company of a good woman and good people,
Yeah.
it's been a good combination for a decent remedy.
Have you done any therapy or anything?
Oh, yeah. Like, I had a therapist that I talked to, but frustratingly enough, I got a letter in the mail one day saying that she was closing her practice because she thought God was calling her to do something else, which I can respect on a religious aspect, but me personally, I was mad as shit when I read that letter. I'm like, just say you want to do something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would you have to state it like that?
Like, I appreciate that.
Some people might respect that more.
Yeah.
But some people don't.
That was my favorite therapist, and it felt like a really good connection and felt like I was going to go get to my healthiest point through that person.
Yeah.
And when they announced their closing of their practice with that attached to it, I was just pissed. And so I dropped therapy for a while, but I did get a psychiatrist.
Okay.
So I could, in case they thought I needed some prescription aid, that would help me out. At the bare minimum, I wanted one of those things, one or the other.
Yeah. So is it just basically general PTSD that you have a diagnosis for?
I have a diagnosis for anxiety. I get certain moments where I can calm it down. I've gotten to a point where I can calm it down on my own with a focus and I guess in a form meditation. But once I got that down, I still have moments where I'm like, okay, so I have a prescription for anxiety that's take as needed, which is really spread out, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I also have a prescription for severe depression, which I think it's the generic for Effexor. It used to be on Lexapro. That wasn't good. That's pretty bad.
I've heard that.
Ugh.
That's not that great.
Yeah,
or
I
at least from somebody that experienced that.
haven't heard many positive reviews. That's why that green needs to come around, man.
Yeah. Yeah, keep the green alive.
Please.
Shit, well, you just said something that reminded me of something else.
Am I affecting you with my forgetfulness?
No, I already have that. I already have the forgettedness. Oh, that was what it was. The focus. Did someone teach you or have like a method to show you, or is that just kind of a self-taught?
Well, actually,
Calming.
whenever I had that therapist that I said I really enjoyed and it was great, she told me more of the science behind it rather than... I had the option for her to be faith-based with it, and I was like, not interested in that. I want more science, something I can actually tangibly understand.
Right.
And she obliged. She told me, explained neural pathways and how, like, the more etched in something is, the harder it is to break off from that and create a new one. And the secret to that is just habitually doing what is correct as opposed to the more negative route.
Right.
And whenever she explained it that way to me, I'm like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives me an illustration that I feel like I can keep in my head and catch myself whenever I'm going down a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. If you can picturing something, I think would help anybody. You have something that you close your eyes, you can still see something. You're imagining something. So that'd be like a path, like if you're going down the wrong path. This path is the path of depression.
Yeah.
But look to your right or look to your left, and there's other ways you can go, and that's the direction you want to go. You need to go away from that.
Like whenever, like visualization for most things involving your own mind, it's fascinating because whenever I try to pull something from memory, I actually picture it just like that in that movie Dreamcatcher. If you ever seen that,
yeah.
Where he's like in his own head with all these files and books laying around. I'm like, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, definitely.
Once I saw that movie, I'm like, that's it.
Yeah, I drew a picture for my friend the other day about what pops into my head, where it's like if someone were to give me a little piece of information, what the light bulb looks like. It's like that information, whatever you just said, is the little light bulb that lights up a little area in my memory circuit, and all I can see is what's around that light bulb. But once I see something, I can it's like the light spreads. It starts to spread to other things that I can see, and then I can access all these different parts of the files and everything.
That's a good way to look at it too.
Yeah, but I have to have that little bit of information, that light, in order to actually see something. I can't just, it's just like I'm plunging into the darkness, the abyss of nothing, you know. I can't grab anything. I'm just trying to just hopelessly grab a memory somewhere, but I have to have some sort of direction or a little bit of light.
Yeah, and sometimes it's brighter than others.
Yeah. When you've reached my age.
I'm only 28, and having a 7-year-old makes me feel way older.
Yeah,
Born on January 1st.
January 1st. It's about similar to my dad. I think he had me when he was 21.
Mom had me when she was 21. I was at least, I don't remember how old I was when Zoe was born. I was 21. Damn it.
Yeah, that's when I released myself from seeing all adults and my parents as, you know, like infallible in a way of grown-ups. They're grown-ups. They're responsible. They've lived life.
They don't make mistakes.
Longer than I. That kind of mentality. Just randomly one day, I think it was when I was 34. How old am I? 37. I think it was more like 32 that I just happened to realize one day. I thought that my dad at 32, I was this age. It made me think, so what if I had a kid right now at that age in that same comparison? It made me think, like, put myself into my dad's shoes at that age and thinking, okay, well, now maybe I understand why he was an asshole, you know, sometimes, because I definitely would have been an asshole, you know, 10 years ago, and, you know, not really knowing what kind of impact I would have on a child because I just wasn't fully developed in my head and haven't experienced enough life, you know. So I still think that things could have been handled very differently in certain situations, but it made me realize that no one is perfect, and these ultimate figures in my head of responsible adults is just a complete fabrication, and
quote responsible.
No one is better than anyone else. We're all the same.
No kidding.
People just tend to be lazy or not care sometimes, and that makes a big difference about, you know, who you are and what kind of impact you have on people and your surroundings. But that really changed me. That changed my whole mindset. I don't know what it was, but it just clicked something in my head that really changed.
It's always good.
Yeah, it was definitely for the better. I'm glad that happened.
I find epiphanies are always good.
Yeah, except when they're not.
Anytime I say the word epiphany, I think of Homer Simpson in the Simpsons movie.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I took a chick on a date to see that movie.
Yeah.
And that was a stupid call. At that age, by the time that came out, I was new to the whole makeout scene, so I just wanted somebody to do that with. And so I did during that movie, but I had one eye on the screen the whole time.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Distracted makeout session.
Yeah. She never caught it.
Oh, she caught it.
Don't spoil this for me.
I just foiled your memory.
Foiled again.
It's 5:13. I don't know what else to talk about right now. I think I'm kind of just personally off today a little bit. Been in a weird mindset today.
How so? Want to talk about it?
I don't know. I don't know what to talk about.
Oh.
But it's not like a depression thing. I'm not angry. I'm not...
Like a stillness?
Yeah. Well, there's always this looming feeling that I don't have enough time. I don't have time for anything.
I gathered that from some of your other episodes.
And because I always have shit to do. I have tons of stuff I would love to be doing at all times, and I tend to stack my plate a little too high. And I think I give the impression out online that, you know, if I post a guitar video or something, sometimes when I do that, I think people that I tell I'm limited on time, they think, well, he's got time to post these stupid videos.
That's unfair.
and you know, sometimes that video could be the result of an hour of playing, or it could be within 6 minutes of playtime, and that's all I get for the entire week, you know, because I'm doing other shit. So, I mean, lately I've been playing more guitar, which I'm happy about, and I want to keep doing that. I need to be playing every day to keep up the chops, or, you know, at least like improve in some way. You know, I don't like to just maintain. I'd like to kind of be on a uphill, thing where I'm getting somewhere,
Yeah.
chugging along.
I mean, that's the typical general mindset of a creator.
Yeah.
You got to challenge yourself once in a while.
Right.
See if you can get better.
And that's what I want to do this year too, is I want to draw more. I want to create. Like earlier today, I'm working on some projects out of copper pipe and fittings and stuff, since I'm a plumber, and just knowing how to put stuff together and create art that way. Some of these are Christmas presents that I've yet to give out.
Oh,
so
nice.
we're not doing family Christmas until like another 2 weeks.
Oh,
That's the
jeez.
only time we can all get together.
Oh, man.
But anyway, so doing stuff like that, I'm working on another illustration for someone for Christmas too. That takes a lot of time drawing. I didn't realize it was going to take this much time, but it's kind of inspired me to want to draw more in general, and maybe do some painting. I've pretty much tried and quit painting about 30 times so far, and I never get past one canvas because I get frustrated because I don't know what I'm doing, and I think, fuck, this is taking so long and it looks like garbage. So I get discouraged and then I just don't for a long time.
Oh man, I'm probably in a whole different magnitude of that. Anytime I try to draw anything, it always ends up being like a stick figure, and I'm like, why do I do this? But Desiree, she's a legitimate, really talented artist. She paints, she sketches, and she's been kind of like in a stillness with the creativity, and it sucks when you don't have that, like, you have that block.
Yeah.
I know you know that.
I've had that with music for sure. Yes.
I've had that with entertaining in general because I've tried different YouTube experiences.
right.
Once I hit this podcast, I feel like I noticed that I'm in a much better positive space because I'm creating again.
Yeah.
It's been years since
definitely.
I've gotten to do that.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about this more and more. It's like music. It's like, that's why I take so much time editing, and I try to put something nice out there because I treat it like a song. It's like this episode is a song. It's a specific, unique creation, and that's what it is. Here it is. So that's kind of what I think that's why I'm more excited about this, kind of like how I used to be about music when I first started. It's like the same thing, just like a rebirth of creation of some sort.
Speaking of creating, did I read somewhere that you're working on an album?
Yeah, I've got a couple songs, I think. I've got 2 that are, I mean, they're not done, but like the structure is pretty much there.
Would it be, didn't you say it was like a solo project with some features? Something like that?
Yeah, so far it's just me writing whenever I can. I haven't spent any time with it lately, but I think I did for like a month.
Bet you'd feel
Solid.
pretty good turning back to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that, definitely. Because I showed somebody something the other day and it reminded me, oh, I need to get back on this.
I'm guessing their reaction was like, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah, they thought it was okay.
I was talking to Desiree about you before I headed over. I'm like, just giving her like general backstory about who you are, and I was like, oh yeah, man can shred too. He's fucking good. Like you posted what you thought was like sloppy, chaotic metal, and I'm like, no, it sounds pretty good actually. And I was like, kind of reminds me of Ocean's 8 Alaska.
I don't know that.
Oh man, they're a chaotic metal band from the UK. I actually got I think they're on Fearless. Maybe, I don't remember. Doesn't matter. I got my jellyfish tattoo, which is like the most gnarly tattoo I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Loosely based off of their album artwork, which is a jellyfish.
Okay.
And whenever I went to a show to see them, after their set, they went to their table, and I was like, I'm going to go talk to them and show them this fucking jellyfish. And I let him know, like, you guys were one of the influences for me to get this tattoo. And the vocalist just leans in and he goes, no fucking way. And he called the band over and he was like, we got to get a picture with this dude. And I'm like, this band is cool as shit.
Yeah.
And they got a picture of me, and they were, I think from their perspective, they felt really cool that somebody came up and showed them that.
Yeah.
Which I can't understand that dynamic, but they were cool dudes, man.
Yeah.
It's a good band too.
It's awesome to see somebody inspired from your creation, something that you just created, and it inspires somebody in just the smallest way is very rewarding. But it's something like a tattoo, that's serious.
Music inspired tattoos, if you do it right.
Not just the band's logo, but I mean, like,
well, I have a
put some
Demon
thought
Hunter
to it,
logo up here.
that's okay. Shit, I've got a monster logo on my leg. I don't give a shit.
I mean, that's ironically, that's still a band I have yet to see live too, but I love Demon Hunter, man.
Yeah.
I don't tend to like bands that are under Christian labels because I feel like creatively they're being held back. When you could I have a lot of respect for Switchfoot because they're not under a Christian label, but they choose to do their thing a religious way without being preachy at the same time.
Yeah.
How Switchfoot does their thing, it's awesome. I still love that band. First album I ever bought was The Beautiful Letdown.
Quite a while ago, right?
Yeah, that was the one with Meant to Live, Dare to Move. I bought that in North Carolina when I was visiting my father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got some memories.
Terrorizing Greg and Spencer. Greg is my other half-brother, which, of course, growing up as long as we have, we're like, we're not going to say that half shit, right? We're fucking brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we would terrorize each other all the time. Like, I remember that same visit whenever I did buy that album. That was also in LimeWire times 2. I downloaded a lot of stuff at their house.
Yeah.
They both had to work, so it was just these 3 young boys at home alone all day for most days during the summer, which is always a good idea.
Yeah. That sounds like a broken arm.
Oh, no, it wasn't that bad, but there was a day where Greg was just pissing me the fuck off, man. And I don't even remember what it was. It was probably stupid.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he was like in his fucking underwear all day, like a lot of us were, because fuck it. We're kids. We don't have nothing to do.
Yeah.
It's still weird to think about, but not weird. I don't know. Family's weird.
Not if you've ever been a young boy.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah. But he was pissing me off. That was his clothing, and it plays into this because I just took my hand and I perfect slap on his fucking pale ass thigh. Because he's also a ginger, so you know he's extra pale, and this is probably going to hurt more.
Yeah.
And he cried. I tattooed his leg with my hand. It was welted, and like you could see the creases in my palm on his leg.
That's serious.
I hit him hard, man, and he deserved it. I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
Whenever parents came home, they saw his leg, and they're like, "Oh, well, you're grounded for sure." And I'm like, this was way outside of my character, but I actually looked at him and I said, it was worth it.
They probably looked at each other like, what?
It was worth
What's
it.
wrong with them?
If I can ever convince Greg to listen to this, I'm still not sorry. He's going to be at my wedding party, hopefully.
Oh, he's going to slap the shit out of your leg.
Oh, no. You just put the idea in his head.
Payback.
Fuck. Do you have siblings?
I have a little sister. A
protective?
younger sister. Put in the right circumstances, yes.
I'm going to have a sister-in-law soon. And on Desi's side, too.
Yeah.
About to gain 2 sister-in-laws, and I'm very protective over hers because I'm not the one my brother is marrying. I just haven't had the opportunity to get really super close with her. It's just a time thing.
Yeah.
She's a decent person, just haven't been in the same room for too many times.
Yeah.
Then there's Desiree's sister, and I have gotten pretty close with her. We've spent a lot of time together because of Desiree.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty protective over her.
Yeah.
She's
it's like instinctual.
Yeah, she's like 23, and I've always wanted a sister because I've had all this stupid testosterone around me for so long.
Right.
And she's a cool person. She's a weird bird too. But in an entertaining way. If anybody like messed with her, I'd be super pissed. She doesn't deserve this shit.
Yeah. That's not a terrible quality. It just depends on how if you
I'm not overbearing.
If you can if you can control yourself.
I'm a helicopter parent now.
Yeah. Parent from afar.
She already has 2 decent parents. She doesn't need a third. Good thing I know that.
That is good. Man, I think I'm going to have to call this. Unless you
having
have something really nice to talk about.
I have to pee real bad. Is that nice?
Yeah, I think I got to go too. That's usually a pretty good tell. Is
I gotta pee.
Yeah, I got to pee.
Think about Liar Liar. Can you hold it? Yeah, I can. But I heard if you hold it.
Yeah, we don't want to hurt ourselves here. All right, so yeah, man, we talked about some good stuff. So your podcast is...
It's called Tanya's Kid.
Tanya's Kid.
Not Tanya.
Not Tanya. But if you're familiar with Tanya, it's spelled like Tanya.
Exactly.
But not with an O because it's Tanya.
Tanyakid. On social media platforms, it's mostly Tanya's Kid Podcast.
Yeah, and you said iTunes. You finally got that.
Yeah, I finally got that straightened out.
Apple is a weird apple.
But it's worth it.
Definitely.
They're popular. Just make sure to mark it explicit and
Oh yeah, right.
all of that uploading
Not for
jargon.
children.
Yes. I don't want kids listening to this. I had a little, whenever I started, I was like, the podcast for everyone, except for kids.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even though kids in the title.
I don't want to do a podcast for kids.
It sounds awful.
I want no limits. All right, so check out Tanya's podcast. Tanya's Kids. What is it?
Tanya's kid.
Tanya's Kid.
It's so cute.
And anything else you want to mention?
No,
Throw
man.
out, promote?
I was super happy to be on.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming over and doing this, and we'll do it again.
Appreciate you having me, man. Love everybody. Love everybody that listened.
I love all of you.
Bye-bye.
Rusty's Escape Pod. Rusty's Escape Pod.